Hey Genderqueerchat, Joe here. This is take 2 of this video because there was just a bee in here and it scared the crap out of me and now I'm all flustered. I'm scared of bees, it's true. Welcome to this week. We've got Genderqueer 101. Let me just read the topic. How do you explain the fundamentals of genderqueerdom or gender variancy to people who know nothing about it? And the bonus question is, what's on your bucket list? Something you want to do before you die. So, I was surprised at how many people this week said that they don't bother explaining genderqueerdom to anybody. They just kind of live their own reality and their friends accept them as they are without any explanation required. And I guess in some ways that is true for me too, but I come into contact with a lot of people in the course of my day, and I'm an extremely chatty person. I don't know if you noticed this or not. I'm also eating chocolate, and I'm realizing that there's a massive mess behind me, but we'll just, see? I'm a slob. And I'm cleaning my room today, it's true, so this isn't going to be like this for much longer. Anyway, I really am a chatty person, and when people meet me, sometimes things come up in conversation. In fact, this channel comes up in conversation quite a bit. I think because I have a pretty loud and proud online life. I think I'm on, a lot of people, you know, they Google my name and they find out a lot about me. And so typically if somebody is asking me about my YouTube channel or my YouTube life, I usually say that I participate in a collab channel, which is, 7 people on 7 different days of the week participate in a collaboration, and the subject is genderqueer. And I said it's a different subject every week, but the basic thing we all have in common is we all identify as genderqueer. And most people have no idea what that means. Keep in mind I walk in pretty non-academic circles. Like the most recent person to ask me that, or to actually just ask me about my YouTube channel, was one of the caretakers at one of the elementary schools. So this type of thing. And I usually love having the opportunity to explain it. There was a question a year or two ago about educating people, and I remember I love educating people. I love discussing it. I love explaining it. So yeah, I said to him, the way I usually say it, the way I usually explain genderqueerdom is, well, I'm not actually that girly. Or I'll say I don't feel like a girl. I don't fit in with women, nor do I fit in with men. And I say I'm somewhere in the gray area. That's sort of my stock answer. I don't feel like a woman. I don't act like a woman. I don't actually feel like I am one. And I'm in the gray area, somewhere between men and women. And usually that sparks a conversation and it goes deeper than that. But that's usually my stock phrase. I'm just going to read the Wikipedia article real quick because Matt alluded to it and it's really good. It actually was what got me into thinking more about it helped me define who I was. And although it seems to have changed, now that I'm reading it, it's a little bit more complicated than it used to be. But it says, genderqueer is a catch-all term for gender identities, other than man and woman, thus outside the gender binary and cisnormativity. Cisnormativity was never in there because that's a really complicated, complex word that, Anyway, it's clickable. People who identify as genderqueer may think of themselves as one or more of the following: both man and woman, pangender or bigender, neither man nor woman, genderless or agender, moving between genders, gender fluid, third gender or other gendered, includes those who do not place a name to their gender, and then having an overlap of or blurred lines between gender identity and sexual and romantic orientation. I think if I had to pick one out of those, and it's not easy, I want to say maybe third gender or other gendered. I don't place a name on my gender. I was socialized female, and I fought against that for my entire life, so I have a lot of anger associated with being female, and a lot of, I've said this in previous videos. I got a couple of 1 or 2, I don't know, dislikes on my last video about radical feminism, and I knew I would because I have very strong opinions about feminism, and they're not always positive. They're not positive. I mean, a lot of women really dislike me and my opinions about women because I harbor so much resentment and anger about having been socialized this way. So it's not fair to them, but it is what it is, and I'm very honest about it. And dislike it all you like. I'm cool with that. I know that's what the internet's all about: people having opinions on things and people agreeing or disagreeing with those opinions, right? So, having been a socialized and raised female, I really don't like being female. It bothers me. However, I do not feel male, and I never have. And even when I'm with all men, I definitely feel different from them as well. So it's, I'm definitely in the third range, or the gray area, as I like to call it. Other gendered, don't place a name to my gender. Sometimes I think I'm neither man nor woman, genderless. And, you know, the conversation usually goes it starts to get into sexuality and stuff like that. And that reminds me. So last year I was able to participate. I was the guest speaker at a high school GSA, a Gay Straight Alliance. And it was awesome because I got to sit and discuss sort of what genderqueer is for like the first 5 or 10 minutes. I gave a little speech. And then the questions, everybody asked me questions. And a lot of the questions were, they were interesting. They were really interesting questions. A lot of them had to do with, are you gay? Like, are you, like, they was more, really, really having a hard time people separating sexuality from gender. And we were talking about at great length, I think, how I like men, how I'm sexually attracted to men or male-bodied people, that that's my sexual preference. But it really complicates matters how I define myself. Am I a heterosexual female? Am I a gay man? Am I a genderqueer person who is attracted to male-bodied individuals? Blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we can get into as in-depth as you want, or we can just keep it as I don't feel much like a girl. That sort of sums it up. Yeah, I guess that sort of sums it up. I always enjoy having the conversation, and I never tire of it, and I never feel like, I wish sometimes I had a better answer, like I should memorize a few sentences and like that can be my starting point. 'Cause sometimes I feel a little bit foggy. Like I'm not expressing it 100% like I wish I could. Most people know me. Most people, like I said, in my day-to-day life, especially in the summer months, I work for school board, so in the summer months, the kids are all out of school and the teachers aren't there. I wear shorts. I wear shorts every day to work, and I have hairy legs, and you know, it's kind of obvious that there's something about me that's not like other girls, right? So, like I said, all my life I was presumed to be, most people just see a woman with hairy legs and they presume she's a feminist, which is true in my case. I am a feminist, but it goes deeper than that, right? And I don't mind the conversation at all. I don't ever mind being asked the question. Oh, I posted a picture of my shoes one time on Facebook, and it was like I took the picture down of my feet and you could see my hairy legs. And someone who didn't know me that well, incidentally another caretaker at work, she left this like comment. She's like, "Joel, you forgot to shave your legs." And I put, "Honey, when they get that bad, it's not a matter of forgetting. It's a choice." I didn't forget to shave my legs for 20 years, you know what I mean? I chose not to shave them for 20 years. And it was kind of funny. It was it was comical. I don't think I answered her snarkily. I think I answered her very straight up and up. Okay, so the other half of the question, which actually I came up with this one, which was fun, was your bucket list, something you want to do before you die. And God, there's so many things. I need to make this list. I just turned 40, so I had started to make my list, 40 things to do in my 40s, which I sometimes do. I think I did like 35 things to do by 35. And I made that list when I was 33, and I accomplished a lot of them. One of them, first off, okay, I love to travel. And it's hard to, when you say I want to travel, you can't just like pie in the sky, hope that someday you get to travel. You really need to come up with some places you want to go, and a sort of a method to your madness. So for me, I wanted to travel extensively in North America, so that I made a little promise to myself when I was probably a teenager that I wanted to see every state, every province, every territory. And to do that, you couldn't just drive through the state and like stop at a truck stop and buy a fridge magnet or something. No, you had to do something in that state. So for me, that was usually national parks, like do something, or in some cases I just did something memorable in that state. Like I flew a kite in Kansas, like, you know, on the windy plains. And so I've been to 49 states out of 50. All that's left is Hawaii. So obviously my thing to do before I die is Hawaii. My province that I'm missing, I've got 9 out of 10 provinces, I'm missing Newfoundland. And I would like to go back to PEI, because I only ever had lunch in PEI, and I'd like to like see that province proper. So, and I have a friend who lives in Newfoundland, so I'm going to go there sometime soon. And I used to live in the Arctic, but at the time, the place where I lived was called Northwest Territories, but they've since divided that landmass into two, and where I lived is now called Nunavut. So I say that I've been to Nunavut, although technically I haven't. And I say that I haven't been to Northwest Territories, though technically I have. So that's the one territory I have left. I've been to the Yukon, and I've been to Nunavut. So that's it. So after that, a couple other things on my bucket list would be definitely, like Matt said, to write a book, to be published properly. Like not self-published, or to actually kind of write a book. That's been my lifelong dream. See my name in print. Oh my God. I've written articles and stuff. I've been printed a lot, you know, in just local papers and stuff. I think it was printed in the Globe and Mail, which is Canada's like national newspaper. But I would love to have my name on a book, for sure, for sure. Also, one goal that I achieved in my 40s, I just did it in August, and I told you guys all about it. I had always wanted to go backpack camping, and I did it. I went on this 5.5-kilometer hike in, with the big-ass backpack and the hot Viking sticks, and then, we had to pack in all our food, pack it all out, the whole 9 yards. I think what's left, and don't laugh, but okay, go ahead and laugh. When I went camping in Algonquin Park in Ontario, for the backcountry campsites, they have these things called, we call them thunder pods. I don't know what they're called. They're privies. It's like a wooden toilet in the woods, and it's not an outhouse. It's out in the woods. Like if it's raining, you get rained on. But one thing I've never done is I've never shit in the woods properly, like lived out in the wilderness where there are no, toilets built for campers. I want to do that. Go ahead and laugh. Shit in the woods. That's on my to-do list before I die. Just because I have I want to experience the world, and I'm a bit of a hippie. I'm a bit of a nature buff, and I want to do things. I definitely want to get into hiking more and do some trails that are like not massive, but when we were in the Rocky Mountains, people were hiking the Rocky Mountains. I live near something called, what the hell is it called? The Bruce Trail. Google it, in Ontario. The Bruce Trail runs all through this area, and it goes up to Tobermory, and it's beautiful. I would love to hike the Bruce Trail. I would love to hike the Pacific Coast Trail, or whatever they call that. The Pacific, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them. The Appalachian Trail. I would love to get seriously into hiking. I'm getting older, my knees are shot, I'm asthmatic, and I'm fat. So it's hard, but it's not impossible. It's just a matter of setting my mind to it and doing it. And pretty soon I'm going to have Hawaii under my belt in Newfoundland, and I'll have to make a whole bunch of more new goals, because those goals will have been achieved. So definitely, just off the cuff, I think there were several things in my life I wanted to accomplish, and I kind of had this little checklist. One was I wanted to run for Parliament, and I did 3 times. I ran for the Green Party of Canada and the Green Party of Ontario in 3 separate elections. I wanted to get my truck driving license, and I did when I was 36. What were some other things I wanted to do? Oh, dip my foot in the Atlantic, dip my foot in the Pacific. I did that. And I don't think I did dip it in the Arctic, but not, I think it had a boot on, but okay. But I was in the Arctic Ocean when I lived up north. Geez, really, I could go on and on and on forever. I'm full of pie-in-the-sky dreams of things I want to accomplish. But the best thing is to make a list and to actually, like, alphabetize it or oh, yeah, that one, when I was 35, I was just getting into camping, and I didn't know I was so new to it, I didn't even know how to experience all the different campgrounds. So I just made a list that when I was 33, that by the age of 35, I would visit 10 provincial parks. And I remember the summer I turned 35, I was racing around. There was one, I think it was Driftwood Provincial Park. I literally just went there for the afternoon because I had to check it off my list. I think I just went, hiked on one trail. But I've stayed at more than 10 provincial parks in Ontario, and that really gave me a better view of Ontario and camping in general, and I've really become quite an adept camper over the years for that. So my next goal is backpack camping. Okay, I'm really going on and on. I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.